ladies and gentlemen. Live, all the way from North Carolina.
From New Jersey.
Originally?
Plainfield, New Jersey.
All right.
And 15 years in East Orange.
Okay. All right. So she took the roundabout way to get here. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Carmen Brown.
Hello, everybody. Ronald Williams is here. Yes. Darlene, hey. Tariq. I like hearts. Throw up some hearts. Okay. You see some hearts.
All right.
I love hearts.
Wow. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have Carmen Brown. It's taken us literally months to get here, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I saw you
she's so
last year.
Yeah, last year. And it was like you happened to be walking out of Bar Louie's.
Right. Charles Dixon did that event.
Yes, Charles Dixon. Well, listen, so let's start off with the easy stuff. So for the people who haven't met you before, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, they know where I'm from now.
Okay.
I started singing in church when I was about 4 years old. I love listening to my dad sing, who never had a professional career in it. And then I had a sister that could sing. And I just listened to her and try to mimic her. And I started singing in the church choir. Well, at age 4, I wanted to be in the choir, and I walked over and tried to stand with them, and they said, "Get out of here, you're too little." And my sister walked me right back over there and was like, "Yep, stand right there and sing." So kind of started doing solos and singing throughout church and doing talent shows and so forth and so on.
Now, you mentioned your sister, and who were some of the other early influences in your musical career?
Oh, wow. Michael Jackson, first of all.
Okay.
Love Michael Jackson, Smokey Robinson, Diana Ross. I love Whitney Houston, of course. I love Whitney Houston. It's so many. It's like a plethora of them. So it's hard to name. Phyllis Hyman's my favorite.
Okay, interesting.
Of course, yeah, she was one of my favorites. Of course, Aretha Franklin, Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan?
Yeah,
Shaka Khan? Shaka Khan? Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. Anyway, okay. Put yourself together, Dan. Okay. All right. Okay.
It's all right.
All right, well, it's good. Now, how about this?
And then of course, there were club artists.
Okay.
That I love, and some that I had the opportunity to work with. Lolita Holloway, Fonda Ray, Jocelyn Brown. Who else?
Okay.
So many. Colonel.
Colonel, sure.
Yeah. A diva who I had the opportunity to work with.
Right. From Patterson, folks. Let's get that in there. She's from Patterson. Just like me. Go ahead. This summer. Just that week.
She was just here. I missed her.
Right. But she's down in North Carolina too, right?
Yeah. I got to find her because she's not on social media.
Oh, okay.
I wish I could not be on social media. But I don't have a choice.
Well, when did, like, some people sing and then some people don't sing. And what point did you realize that, hey, wait a minute, there was a real opportunity?
4.
Okay.
And I tell you why.
Okay, all right.
When I was, I loved to sing, and I thought I could sing. I didn't find out that I could really sing until I got to high school. But I thought I could sing. My mom would take me to the shoe store in town or whatever, and I'd be asking the shoe man, "You want to hear me sing a song for you?" He'd say, "Yeah, go ahead and sing." Mary had a little lamb.
All right.
Little lamb.
Wait a minute.
So I was a little kid and they're trying to sing for the shoe man, so I thought I could sing.
Okay.
Then.
How about your cross into house music? How did that happen?
That happened recently because I've been doing the gospel music, and I got a call from Ace Mungeon.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Ace Beat?
Yeah, and I didn't know if I wanted to come back into house and club, because there were so many things that transpired in those days, and now I had crossed over into gospel, traditional and contemporary gospel. So he called and asked me to do it, and I said, yeah, I think about it. And he's like, yeah, I really believe in you. I think that you can do it. Come on, try. He and Derek Ricky Nelson, shout out.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I thought about it for a while, and I said, I don't think I want to get into house anymore, do club music anymore. And he kept calling and calling. I said, he's so nice. And then he says, yeah, just write something to it. So I just wrote something that I didn't think was good.
Okay.
And I gave it to him, and they loved it. And Ricky Nelson put his spin on it, and that's how You Are came about. And it's got around with the DJs and everything. And then there was the next song and the next song and the next song. And it's like, I didn't come to stay in house music. But it seems like it's been hard to pull away and get back into my contemporary stuff.
Well, house is very, very sticky like that. And it's spiritual, and you're a spiritual person.
I love it. You know, I'm back and I love it.
Now, speaking of spiritual, and speaking of some times in between things, you have a story that a lot of people don't know about. Would you be willing to share that story?
Absolutely.
Okay. Tell us about that.
I'm coming out.
Okay, now.
This is my coming out show.
Okay. All right. I almost went church on you.
Oh, uh-oh.
Anyway.
DanDan want to sing.
Listen, I know my limitations. All right. Well, okay. All right. Anyway, so you have a story of, I'm going to say, going into the dark, but then coming out into the light. Yes. Could you share it with us? And then it's all interwoven with your music too, is the way I understood it. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would you share it?
In the early days, one of my first opportunities to work professionally was with a group called the Shades of Love.
Okay.
And then a lot of people don't know that I was Symphonia on Atlantic Records with about 3 singles that played very well. And I got to perform the Paradise Garage, Zanzibar, Palladium, Red Parrot, and all of these great places. And also got the opportunity to work with artists that I mentioned earlier, Lolita Holloway, Fonda Ray, Barbara Roy, a lot. Gotta See You Tonight. That was me in the background.
Oh, okay.
And then there was a diva. I worked with her on 3 songs. This Is a Warning.
Okay.
That's all me in the background. And then her biggest record was Musical Freedom. That was the biggest record worldwide. I wrote that. And I actually sang the background and some of the leads. I was a featured vocalist on that song.
Okay.
And then Love or Lust.
Okay.
Right. So, and then at a point I started getting into some acting. I was doing episodic television. I did a few movies, and it seemed like the movie stuff was really working out a little more than taking me to #1 musically. And I prayed and I said, Lord, what would you have me to do? Because maybe I want to do the acting and work the music into, you know, after I get the acting going, you know? And that's when I got the first call. And God spoke to me and said, I want you recording gospel.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had my either or, but God intervened at that time. So I didn't do anything else for a little minute. And so then there was Sister Act, the gospel tour in Italy. I jumped on that tour just to kind of get a feel, and I met some producers who gave me music to start the gospel music. And then I went on another tour, and some folks saw me, a band saw me, and I got back into the R&B, and I lived in Austria for a while.
Okay.
And when I came home, someone asked me to direct the day camp, and so since I was going to be home, I did that, and I liked it so much because I've never really had a 9-to-5 job.
Okay.
And I conceived my son, and so that shut everything down musically for a minute, for more than a minute.
Okay.
When he was about 10 years old, I got back into it, and how that happened was I was working for corrections, the Department of Corrections, Annandale Prison. I went
Okay.
from professional singer to corrections worker, teacher in the
Okay.
classroom, right?
Mhm.
And so my boss came to me and said, Carmen, you're doing such a beautiful job. Why don't you think about getting certified? So at that time, I was like, okay, well, maybe I will. And I prayed on it that night. I went home and I prayed on it. And I said, Lord, I know I messed up, but I'm thinking about going back to school to get certified. What would you have me to do? Before I could get up really good, God said, I want you to do what I told you to do.
Okay. All right.
And I got feisty because, I'm learning God all along. I'm still learning. I guess we all are still learning, but I was like, what? I was like, yeah, right. If that's what you want me to do, then you're going to have to help me because I'm all the way out here in Pennsylvania. I done bought a house, my this, my that, and I'm rolling my neck and I lay down. So now it was about a week later when I was coming from Knoebels, which is an amusement park, with a couple coworkers, and then I was riding with my neighbor coworker. My son was in the back seat. I fell asleep because we were all tired after the amusement park, right? And the driver fell asleep. Hit the divider. The car flipped over 3 times, hit a rock wall, and was facing traffic. Right, so I could hear him screaming from the top of his lungs, oh, Jesus, God, God. That's what we call, right? When the time has trouble.
Right.
So, anyway, I didn't want to open my eyes because I was just like, oh, my gosh. We all know that the time is near, but we don't know the time or the hour. And I would not open my eyes. I just said, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And the car stopped on its wheels.
Wow.
And so he was cut and bleeding up his arm. My son, I hadn't even looked at him. Glass was all over my body. And finally, I opened my eyes, one eye. Looked down at my big toe. Was the only thing I could feel was throbbing.
Wow.
Right, so don't y'all be looking at my big toe. There's nothing wrong with my big toe.
Okay.
Anyway, so long story short, it was at that moment when I knew that this is it. And later on that evening, there was a woman who was in a car accident on that same highway who did not make it out alive.
Wow.
So to God be the glory.
Wow, that's incredible.
I'm here. I'm still here.
Wow.
Yep.
That is incredible.
God told death to behave, and I'm still here.
Right. Wow. Wow. When you have an experience like that, you're talking about getting your attention. You just kind of like, okay, you have my total attention.
Yeah.
What is it that you want me to do?
Yes. Yeah.
And
sincere, just you can ask him sincerely. But since then, he has blessed me so much. I'm not nowhere near where I want to be. Spiritually, musically, I'm still learning every day as I go along, but he's provided so many things. I got radio right away. After I started recording, I did my first album called Carmen Brown Driven. In case anyone want to go and get that, it's still available on iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby. So I did the first project, and got picked up on WBLS. Also, I'm in a television show that shows every year with one of my videos. It's called Gospel Music Presents, and it shows in every major city in the country. So you guys will get to see DJ DanDan when it comes to New York.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay. I guess that's a little bonus for me, huh?
Yeah, hey. Well, you're going to have your talk show soon. I'm manifesting that.
All right.
Yeah. You're going to be on television.
Okay.
Look how much you've done so far in a year's time. Yeah. You've had everybody here, Dan.
Well,
congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. Well, where is the music headed? You had a chance. You're down in North Carolina,
yes,
but I know you're like you're like right on the pulse of what's going on here.
Yeah.
And you're involved with the gospel house, which is growing more and more. Where is house music, soulful house, gospel, inspirational house, Afro? Where is it going from your perspective?
It's not gonna die.
Okay.
It's only gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's a really big scene overseas as well as here, Chicago. They're trying to build a scene in North Carolina. You got Miami that's on it, and there's a lot of places. So I don't see it dying. We're hoping that the younger people will give a few events to see how the younger people embrace it. There's a few DJs. What are these new DJs? You know their names?
I know a few of them. In this area, I have DJ Amir. You have DJ Mix Smash.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you
Got to
have
hear him.
DJ D Boyd, Kasim.
Oh wow.
You
Quite a
have
few.
out of Baltimore area, you got DJ Pope's son. So you have young. Then of course you got me, young and talented. Did I say something funny? You know, so you got young cats like me coming up. You know, so.
So corny.
Thanks for the build-up, Carmen. Anyway, so yeah, so there is young representation coming up, and then you have young ladies out there, younger ladies, like for example, DJ Amir's sister just played on Saturday at Tim
really?
Wise's event. So there are younger people coming up, which is good.
Yeah.
And they're going to bring now.
I would love to see that festival.
But watch this. Now here's a question, and we don't have to answer it now, but I'm just going to put it out there. Now, a lot of people say they want to bring younger people into the hair, but just one part of the question is, what if they want to make changes? Are you willing to go along with those changes? And you don't have to answer the question.
Change is inevitable. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
let them make some changes.
They
we
may
can't
not
control everything because we're not going to be here forever. You know, if we want to keep it going, then we got to figure out a way to do a youth house music festival.
Okay, that's a great idea.
Somebody do that.
By the way, you know, when you say you're not going to be here forever, that's like the old joke. They said, you know, the preacher was in church and he said, listen, how many in here in the congregation want to go to heaven? Everybody raised their hand, right? Then he said, how many want to go right now?
Cool.
Anyway. So, anyway. Okay. Okay.
Go ahead, you ain't gonna tell me the joke?
I did.
That's it.
Okay. That's it.
Alrighty then.
All right. Yeah. Anyway. Hey, listen, I got a million of these, but that's as good as it gets. Anyway.
Okay.
What? How about this? Is there anybody that you may have that you work with, or maybe that you haven't worked with that you still want to work with?
So now there's another movement that I have in mind and been talking about, or maybe I shouldn't tell it.
Oh, listen, if you're going to spill secrets, this is the place.
I won't say who.
Okay. Can you say what?
But what about a We Are the World, the Ones house?
Oh.
I did a We Are the Ones dance music. Paul Simpson, We Are the Ones. Shout out to Paul Simpson.
Right. Symphonia.
Yeah. Symphonia. Yeah. But what about a house music We Are the Ones with several artists?
That would be off the hook.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
just make sure I'm involved.
Okay.
Don't leave me out.
Okay. All right. We're going to put that out there. We're going to manifest that. Speaking of that, Barbara Tucker did something, I say a few months back, maybe 6 months back or so.
Yeah. Around Christmas time.
Maybe. And I think it was around, now don't quote me on this, but I think it was around literacy or something like that. But anyway, she did something a while back, and I saw Kenny Bowlby, and I saw he was in it, and some others. But all right. How about this?
How about what?
Okay. How about places? Is there any, name some of the places you've been, and is there any place that you would like to play?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've lived in Austria, worked in Germany, Holland, England, Finland, Switzerland, all the lands.
Okay.
I'm supposed to go to Dubai, so I'd like to go to Dubai. But before that, I want to go to Africa.
Okay. Now,
Africa. Motherland.
Now, let's say a lot of people wouldn't think that there was so much love for this style of music, let's say in Europe. Because, for example, if you're in this area, northern New Jersey, is mostly African American, some Latinos.
Yes.
If you go to New York, the mix gets much
Even
more
bigger.
diversified.
Yes, that's true.
But if you go overseas, it's mostly all folks that don't look like us. What's your perspective as a person who's played in these different locations? How do you view that? Is it a shocker or
Love and appreciation.
Okay.
Love and appreciation over there
Mm-hmm.
for all genres of music that we sing. They appreciate us. They know who we are and where we come from even better than we do. Yeah, so they love the music and they love the house, especially in England.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Switzerland, Germany not so much, but Italy and France, absolutely.
Okay. Now, how about producers that you've worked with? Name some producers that you've worked with and maybe some that are on your list of people that you want to get to.
If I could think of many of them. The past was Teddy Riley.
Okay.
There was so many back then. Deuce Martinez did a record for me when I had a girl group on A&M Records.
Now, what was the name of that group?
That was Ross Stilo, and the song was called Cutie.
Cutie.
And it
Okay.
played on
Look at that.
BET in the box for about 4 or 5 months.
Okay. All right.
Shout out to Deuce Martinez.
Yes, he and Adam
Better
Cruz
play
really
that
make.
record.
Okay. How about this? What should we be looking for from Carmen Brown? Where's Carmen Brown going? Whether it's events, whether it's musically, what can we expect?
I'm here as long as you all will have me and as long as God keeps me here. It's gospel music, whether it be house, contemporary, country gospel. I like it all.
So you listen to other styles of music too,
Oh
huh?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I love country music, believe it or not.
Okay.
I love classical music. There's so many hip hop. I love hip hop. Because
okay.
our group was hip hop. So Deuce did hip hop before he did
I know.
house. Yeah.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you one more question, and then we're getting nearly down to the wire here. Do you have any final thoughts or anything that you would like to share with us that maybe we just didn't cover at this point?
I got to give a couple of shout outs.
Okay.
I want to thank Skip Dillard, WBLS.
Sure.
I'd like to I'd like to thank DJ Sir Charles Dixon, who's been very supportive. Also, my good friend and brother, DJ Access 107, Tim G in the building, baby. I know he's here somewhere. Who else? Derek Ricky Nelson.
Sure, absolutely.
And Ace Mungin, who got it all started again for me. Also, I want to give a shout out to D Sharp Records.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Joseph Davis.
Okay.
Joe Flame. AKA. Right.
Wow.
So you had asked me a question about some artists that I'd like to work with.
Yes.
Angela Crow.
Angela Crow.
Yeah, I love her
Okay.
style.
All right.
That's my girl.
Okay.
I love her. Tasha LaRue.
Tasha LaRae.
Tasha LaRae.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few others.
Okay.
But
how about any male vocalists?
Kenny and I could do something together.
Okay, we'll see. I got a few more classes to take, and
It's
then
my
maybe
boy,
we can
too.
get together.
All right.
A lot more
Wait
classes.
on that. We're going to wait on that one, too. Okay?
All right. Well,
Go ahead, sing something.
Listen, I already know listen, in the shower, I can't be beat. I cannot be beaten in the shower. But in public, I know my limitations. Anyway. Wow, we
All
are
right, so
right there.
last thoughts.
Yeah, final
Um,
thoughts.
So I'm hearing all the way from North Carolina that there's a lot of jealousy and envy going on amongst DJs and artists. Don't do that, y'all. Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Right there? Don't do that. We are allegedly 5 degrees of separation, but really 3 degrees. And if God blessed you with something, who am I to be jealous of the favor that God gives you in your life? Don't do that. Try to just love up on each other, you know? And if you got something to say it to my face. I'm still street. You know? I love the Lord, but I'm still Carmen.
Okay.
So that's all I really want to say is, you know, stop the jealousy, envy, and hate.
Okay. Now, if people want to contact you, follow you, support you, buy your music, how do they do it?
I'm on Facebook. You can reach me at 01 Carmen on Instagram, 0101 Carmen on Twitter. I have a website now, and it is the real Carmen Brown.com.
Okay.
Check me out there. Or you can contact my manager, Lionel Leach.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
That's
All
all I have to offer for right now.
Okay. Well, that's a lot.
Oh, and the music is all everywhere. Digital music is sold. iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby, iHeart, you name it, is there. Support the music, people. This is how indie artists can continue the process. You got to support.
That's right. Fantastic. Chuck, would you take us out with our song of the week here? It should be coming up here. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And then on top of that, maybe you can even hum a few bars for us.
Hey.
Okay. All right. So now, while we're doing that, I just want to again say thank you very much for coming out, Carmen.
Thank you.
It's been always
appreciate you and
pleasure.
everything that you're doing. God
Always
bless
my
you.
pleasure. And, you know, a lot of
We're
fun.
going to see DanDan with his own television show next year. Remember, I said it.
All right. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate the thought. God, you heard that? Anyway. All right. So we're gonna finish out, and then we're gonna go into the Shazam free zone. Now, in the Shazam free zone, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, what we're gonna do in there is, instead of having to go into Shazam and trying to figure out what the song is, we're gonna tell you. In addition to that, we're going to play a couple other tracks that some of you've heard, but many of you have never heard before. And so we're going to put those in there also. And that's part of what we do in the Shazam Free Zone, is we do that. But now here's the difference. I am not going to tag anybody. I'm just going to ask you to look for us, because Facebook has this nasty, nasty little habit of shutting us down. So I don't want to happen. Also, too, I want to talk to you while we're getting set up regarding memberships and a survey. I just got a message here from SMB that they have a membership thing going. So you can go to their site and type in smbent.com, and you'll see the survey. You can take the survey, and the whole purpose of the survey is getting different things and services for members. So look into that. And I just want to say thanks very much to our special guest here, Carmen Brown. I also too want to thank her personal videographer and her manager, Lionel Leach. I want to thank you guys for coming out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into the Shazam Free Zone. We're going to end with this track here. You're going to know this track, and if you don't, you're going to know it today. What's the name of this track, Carmen?
Hey. It's coming true. Hey. You can manifest anything you want.
That's
through
right.
prayer.
That's right.
God first.
All right.
Put God first.
All right.
Everything else will work.
Now, see, what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to let her sing a little bit. I want to crowd the stage, you know what I mean?
There's been so many struggles in my life I had to overcome, make a sacrifice. of a vice, but was at the lowest of lows with tears in my eyes.